Go. So hey everyone, happy Friday. It's a beautiful day. It just is. It's been
It is
a
a beautiful day.
fun, eventful week, and yeah, it's we have only kind and constructive things to say about anyone, and that's kind of where we'd like to be. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Today's Friday. Before that was Thursday,
As
and then
tends to
before
be, by the
that
way.
it was Wednesday. And Wednesday was the most
I'm sensing
exciting
a
day.
pattern here. I think
Yeah,
Wednesday comes before Thursday, and then Friday's after that. So
I'm going this way in time, or this way, depending on which way the camera's going to orient me.
yeah, absolutely. And it's
Mhm.
funny because I was looking behind you at the wonderful artwork that I'm sure we'll talk about before, and I'm like, Elvis is going this way, but it's upside down. Like it's not useful to orient yourself as where the camera
No, no,
basically
yeah.
is. It's all over the place.
This thing was probably worked on multiple different times over years. Like this piece of cardboard was probably picked up and scribbled on and then put down for 10 months, then picked back up again. So it's all like all the words are going in all different directions and things.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a little too reminiscent of a lot of things in my life. I might have some
Hmm.
problems too, but that is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're talking about. I'm sure we'll get into this when we get into the actual stuff, but also we're talking about narratives and about how narratives pay the bills, but then you become captured by your narrative
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of funny, like in, let's just say, like, I can think of that in like a martial art context, right? Like if you're doing like a move, when you commit to this or you commit your weight into a certain direction, and you just go swinging at someone or you go try to throw them, it's like okay, you could win, but then also you're now there and you could be countered, and it just if you're like, oh, I'm gonna go and just do this one thing, and like let's just say I'm gonna like blitz the guy, be all like aggressive in close, and then it's just like okay, well now that you've committed to that, now you're there where you won't be able to get out of the way
You're
quickly enough if
close
someone
and
does
you're out
something.
of breath and
Yes.
you've used up a bunch of like short-term energy. And there's moves you make that you can't come back from, I guess, is a thing. Or there's no you're just that changes the
Yeah.
landscape. You're in a
you're
new
you're
paradigm.
limited by it, and it's just like at some
Yeah.
point you're like, oh, I don't like this guy is punching and kicking at me, so you know what I'm going to show him. I'm going to shoot a takedown on him. I'm going to grab onto him, and he won't be able to do that anymore. Yeah, got you. And then you shoot, and he sprawls on top of you. Now, like it worked, but also now you're underneath the guy and you're stuck, and you just don't have. You can't just back out and reset. Like you're just stuck under this guy's
Were you
weight,
a
and now you've
wrestler in high
committed to
school?
it. No, I was not, but I do jujitsu. I've done other martial arts stuff, and I do train with some wrestlers that absolutely dump
Yeah.
me on my head. Yeah, so the commitment, like about narratives, it's like when you define yourself, like I'm about this. This is who I am. This is what I want to do, and then you frame it that way, and now you're in it. And now if someone says, "Well,
It's
if you're that, then what about this?" and you're like, "I don't like my narrative anymore." It's like too bad you're in it.
Yeah. Each of the coins has their own thing, especially in the privacy sector. I'm not familiar with Dash's narrative or Dash's ideology because narrative kind of feeds into ideology.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if you join the Monero community,
Yes, Monero is
you get
very
this
heavy on
you get this
ideology.
checklist of things that you are allowed to like, things that you're not allowed to like, beliefs that you are allowed to hold, beliefs that you're not allowed to hold, and here's how to respond to when somebody says this and blah blah blah. And obviously, a lot of the Zcash FUD comes from this sort of memo that went around the Monero community that everybody seemed to get because it's all very similar. It's all very self-similar in terms of that. Um, so yeah, I like colluding node. I like colluding node a lot on Twitter, by the way, or
Mm-hmm.
C node. Um, I just like his vibe, but also uh, his thing now is just request community notes on any Zcash flood, and usually the community note system just kind of quietly takes care of it because none of
Mm-hmm.
it is 100. Definitely none of it is 100% factually correct, or if it is correct, it's not up to date. It's or
Mm-hmm.
like outdated, and it's just easily verifiable or checkable. So
You get
that's
to
a
build
fun thing
your
about
credit pretty
Zcash.
quickly that way.
Yeah,
That's the other
yeah,
thing
yeah.
with the community notes thing is if you get community noted, you lose the money on that post. So if you find
Yes.
someone who's like, if they got that blue check and they're talking smack, you just get in there and can just make their life miserable, and it just, works
Yeah.
out.
Who's that Vic guy? The wallet guy. He's a
Uh,
master. He's a master of like vague posting and engagement farming, and just sort of like he does a thing where he'll make a very incendiary statement, and then in the first reply be like, "I was just trying to start a conversation, you guys."
listen, I've sparred with Vic before. My
On the
opinion.
mat or on
No,
the
no, in the
okay,
mats of the interwebs, the nerd
yeah,
mats. But I think he's probably an okay, decent dude who's just a bit of a Monero maxi, but he said some dumb stuff. He's done some dumb stuff where I've snapped back at him, then I get DMs from him being like, "No, bro, I'm just trying to," and like, really, and like,
I'm just trying
you
to
know,
spur the yeah.
were you ever a South Park fan?
Yeah, of course,
Do,
always,
do you
forever.
remember when Eric Cartman was pretending to be like the conservative radio show host, like a Glenn Beck style, and then he's just like everything. I'm just asking questions.
I'm
He's
just
like,
asking you questions. Yeah,
is this person an absolute doo doo head who this and that? I'm just asking a question. I'm not saying it. I'm just asking the question.
right.
It's the exact
Yeah,
same thing. Is Zcash a centralized pre-mine scam that is like run by the Winklevoss twins beyond this?
sure.
I'm just asking. I'm not saying. I'm just asking.
Yeah,
It's like
I always
so
use the
much of
New
that.
York Times op-ed as the example of that type of discourse. Like the New York Times is like, should we feed bugs to our children? I'm just asking. I'm just wondering if we should eat bugs. And it's like, yeah, it's the same kind of thing. I'm just trying to start a conversation. But
Yeah, well,
that's the thing is that people just go on Twitter and just say spew things, and everybody just believes it,
hmm
or enough people believe it so that it just becomes the new narrative, and now it's this and that, and yeah, it's crazy. And the idea that your opponent disagreeing with you about some sort of coin ideology or some sort of you know blockchain narrative thing is a moral failing on their part is one of the most psychotic things if you really break it down, to be like, oh, you think Monero's privacy is better than Zcash, you must be a sick person or something like that, or vice versa, or you name
yeah.
it. Like
Well, you know what's funny is like in 4 weeks, I guess I'm going to be speaking at Monerotopia, and I have some
yeah,
good friends in the Monero community. Some are like, "I'm going to give you a big hug as soon as I see you," and like, just
yeah,
there's some good vibes. That
normal
being,
people.
and yet I people beefing on the interwebs again because I disagreed on a couple of unhinged takes about these digital money things. Someone like literally my favorite comment, someone on Reddit commented and said, "You make my skin crawl." I'm like, "Oh, okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is a healthy person. Like what the actual
Yeah.
fuck?"
There was
Oh,
a
it's
tweet that somebody made about an anti-crosslink tweet, because that's one of the big like internal battles that are going on in the Zcash community. It's actually right now, I will say that we are not the spotlight of what's going on in Zcash, which is a
thank you,
relief. It's
Josh.
like, yeah, it's like
Daddy coming through on that one, huh?
right, dude. Yeah, like it's like the being on the playground and there's another shitty kid there that's worse than your shitty kid, and you're like, phew, like it's not the worst behaved one on the playground right now. So we're sort of flying under the radar. But when we were the hot topic, I saw somebody reply and say, grown men arguing about their digital coins while their real world empires crumble. And I was like, yeah, also that.
Yeah, that's
So
like
I want everybody, it's a reductionist rationalist take, but it would be nice if everybody just kind of took a deep
simmer
breath
down.
and calmed down just for a second. We can get back
Yeah.
to
Or I wish people would understand really just what's going on. It's not that like I am not a dishonest person, right? I say what I believe truly. I don't lie. At the same time, my speech on X, the formatting and phrasing of it is not how I talk in real life or even on a podcast.
No.
Right? Sometimes you just got to hit a zing. Like, it's like zingerified and like, it's just a different language, right? And like when people are sparring on, first of all, I don't believe in getting the maxi nonsense anyway, right?
Right.
But even then, like, I understand that like when someone's doing they're doing a thing. That's not who they are, but like I just wish they would acknowledge that they know that they are doing a thing. Some people don't. Some people just think this is real.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's X, it's online. So you're just
Oh
talking
yeah,
shit
well,
online.
it's almost like a dialect or a pidgin or something like that between like online English and spoken English or something, or if
Yeah.
it's a different language somehow, like almost literally, because things really don't mean the same things that they do on Twitter. And you're right. There's people that you interact with in person who are perfectly fine, and you would never think you'd have a weird altercation with them, and then you're making their skin crawl on Reddit, and yeah,
I mean, because you're doing a thing. That's what you're doing. You're not just talking. You're also doing a thing. Like a stand-up comedian, who just says, "Oh, how do you like that your friend's the fat one?" Or oh, it's like you're not. That's not a representation of who this person is as a person. They're doing a thing. They're performing. They're doing a thing, and don't
yeah,
judge them by the fact that they're doing a thing.
they're
I mean,
doing
think
the
about
thing.
how many times people have done like I don't know, let's just say like naughty talk with their partner. That's not what you do day to day, like normal stuff. Like it's just
Right.
a very different language. You know,
Yeah,
can you
yeah,
imagine
yeah, yeah.
doing that?
Totally different
It's just
context, totally
not.
different.
It's just a different thing. So if people would acknowledge, like, I hope Mr. Mert does acknowledge internally, at least, that he's doing a thing that's not real speech. That's like there's a Zectardio 10,000, all this stuff is like it's not.
Shalom.
Yeah, she'll like that one too. It's like that's not like imagine talking like that in the you don't no one's talking
No,
like that.
no, no.
It's
He's
just
got
an
to know.
online thing.
The one thing that made me laugh
Mhm.
out loud, like literally, where like got me, was I read that he said he was going to scale proof of work with a bunch of chads. I was like, all right, that's pretty good. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think, and I sort of analyzed, like, he's got this pattern where he'll just like
Hmm.
you write a sentence and then like 2 line returns and then another random thought and then 2 line returns another random thought. I said that it's like I picture him like walking out of the gym, pulling his phone out, and being like, "Yeah, yes," and then tweeting like,
Hmm.
"Thermodynamic, electric money, blah blah, blah, forever, proof of work, Zectardio, 10,000, LFG, shalom, go." Bam, 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 and then like getting his car, driving off, and like, just
Okay.
yeah,
Final thing before we roll the intro. Um,
okay.
I am
Oh,
going to start.
this was the cold open.
Yeah, the cold open. Yes.
Nice.
I am
Okay.
going to ask my LLM of choice to just mertify a bunch of my posts. And I might just experiment talking like Mert for like a week. And because I'm sure there's like a format.
Yeah.
It's like Mad Libs, It's just like blah blah blah. It's like, Zectardio.
Very little punctuation.
Yeah. And it works, right? It's a lot of
To
engagement.
return twice between every sentence. And yeah, you could do it. And you should write like an X article about how my results and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Did you see Quasi Matt's thing about not doing humor in January? Oh, okay. Roll the intro.
No
And we'll
humor.
get into
Okay,
that.
no humor January. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, intro,
Yeah.
go. So hey everyone, officially happy Friday now. Welcome to the Digital Cash Rundown, episode 212. I'm joined by the only one, Shielded Mark. We need a sign for it. Shielded Mark. I don't know. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. I need to work on my backdrop, make it better. I do. I People from the last podcast I did will remember that I had I already did this before and I haven't put it up yet. But I have a couple things I'm going to put on my wall at some point. This is some out of commission old thing from years ago called a bitograph. And if you look very closely, it starts
Yeah.
at the dash Genesis block and goes on here. And so I think that's kind of cool. But
Is it every block hash from Genesis until this?
it says like Merkle root E0028 EB, blah, blah, blah. That's how it starts.
Fun.
So, yeah, they don't make these anymore. They haven't made them in many years. I used to have that in my old office
Cool.
in
Yeah.
2018, so 2019. I haven't had it up since then. So I'll do that. And then I got this one many years ago. I don't know if you remember crypto art. But this is a painting representing one of the Bitcoin halvings
Oh, cool.
or a print. And this little QR code is a Bitcoin wallet. It's like a paper wallet where you can take the private key off the back and then cash it in. So it's kind of like hiding your money in your art sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has some Bitcoin in here, not a lot. Like I think it's got to be like $100 worth right now. So like, don't steal my shit, please. But
Right.
anyway, yeah, I just thought this was cool. They don't make this anymore either.
It's like it's based on like some like World War II era Americana poster.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cool ones like that. I don't remember if they had a Zcash version because it was like Zcash's been around since 2016, so like it could have been there. They never got a Dash one. They had a Darkcoin one, and then they just never redid it for Dash in time before they moved on to other stuff. So, yeah, I mean, if I can find a crypto art, like, do you know how much money that would be now? Like, if
Oh my
there's
God.
the Darkcoin crypto art out there somewhere, like I would pay a decent amount of money to curate one of those prints. You know, I'm sure you could just find the image somewhere and just do it. Like reprint it yourself as a knot, but like you kind of want the real one because I know the guy did this and it's a great dude. I'd rather just give him money, but yeah.
Yeah, printmaking is really interesting. It comes down to a lot of details like archival quality of them and stuff like that. So it's not just like print from your printer, the JPEG that you downloaded, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're going back to the monkey JPEG era. But anyway, might as well actually start talking about stuff as opposed
Yeah.
to everything else. So might as well do the shill, get the shill out of the way, and then get into this stuff because we are, of course, proudly sponsored by Coin ATM Radar. Which, when you're trying to buy crypto with cash, of course, an ATM is much safer than meeting some random person in a random place because you might get jumped by a manlet and you never know what happens next. And unlike an exchange, which could literally wreck you by, stealing all your deposits and stuff, you actually do own all the crypto you buy. So with Coin ATM Radar, you go there, you find access to crypto ATMs and other services all around the world where you can buy cryptos directly with cash. You can look by coin, address, if the ATM supports selling as well as buying, and search by geographical area, which I wonder if there's any Zcash enabled ATMs close to me. I will have to poke into that in a little second. You can also compare real current rates, so go to coinatmradar.com, which is coinatmradar.com. So in case everyone got that, I can say it really slowly for the benefit of whatever else. They do have a Zcash filter. I'm gonna filter this just from curiosity, and just say
It's Dorchester, right? Or something, somewhere in South Boston.
maybe. I gotta look. What was? You gotta see if this filter worked. Wow. There might be a glitch with it or something, but I don't see anything in the greater, like the top right corner of the map in the U.S. for Zcash, which is interesting.
Yeah,
St. John's. I don't know. There might be some glitches on the map, but that's fine. Go check it out. So yeah, that's cool stuff. I guess I should ask our mutual friend who used to work with ATMs if there's something nearby. But
I was gonna say, yeah, Coin ATM Radar lost a real one, and whatever organization Josh Swihart will be running after it's set up gained one because our friend moved.
I feel bad for like the jumping. Decentralized Creative said I found a bunch of ATMs in my neighborhood with Coin ATM Radar. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Same. So it's been an exciting week for what are they called? The Zodlers, the Zaithful. I don't know,
Yes.
whatever you call them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was it was really surprising. I was not privy to any of that stuff happening before that tweet. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Let,
yeah.
let's hit up the tweet. I'll
Let's
throw it up
let's
on the
get it.
screen
Let's
so
get
people can
it.
see it. So, Josh, by the way, is it Swyart? Is it Sweart? What is it actually?
I say Swihart, but I could be wrong.
Everyone said that, and then I've heard people at work for him call him Sweetheart or Sweetheart or whatever. I'm like, okay. It kind of reminds me of like Roger Ver because his new name is Roger Veer, but so many people call him Ver that even now he sometimes introduces himself as Ver. So it's one of those things. Anyway, over the past few weeks, it's become clear that the majority of Bootstrap board members, a 501c3 nonprofit created to support Zcash by governing the Electric Coin Company, specifically, he names a bunch of people, have moved into clear misalignment with their mission of Zcash. Yesterday, the entire ECC, Electric Coin Company, team left after being constructively discharged by Zcam. In short, our terms of employment were changed in ways that made it impossible for us to perform our duties efficiently, effectively, and with integrity. We're founding a new company, but we're still the same team with the same mission, build unstoppable private money. Importantly, Zcash protocol is unaffected, all that stuff. Move on, hang tight, onward. So I think that this part in the meat of this, other than we left, it's after being, our terms of employment were changed. So there was a change, according to him, in ways that made it impossible for us to perform our duties effectively and with integrity, which could mean anything. But point is, something happened with the board, and it did not sit well, and Josh did not like it, and either everyone agreed with him in ECC, or they didn't, but they wanted to stay with whatever he's doing. So they all left. And yeah, any hot takes from
Yeah.
just that?
Well, the first hot take here is that blockchains are specifically designed to guard against shit like this.
Yes.
Right? I mean, they're people proof, and they're human proof, and interpersonal relationship and financial relationship proof. So blocks are still being mined. Nodes are still running. The system already doesn't get updated more than once every like 3 or 4 years, right? So like nobody's like, there's no, neither Josh nor anybody is doing any sort of crazy power grab to take over the protocol, because the protocol is resilient already, and nobody would be able to like singularly do that without this human layer on top of everything, right? And
Yeah, of
that's
course.
the human layer almost guards against that. I want there to be more information disclosed from their side, because I think in the interest of sort of fair disclosure, you should also pull up the We Are All Zashi website that
Oh yeah.
the board posted, which is sort of their point of view. I can sort of summarize it, I think.
Yeah, is it We're All Zashi dot something or other?
.com or .org or something like that. Yeah. Is that they were going to privatize the Zashi wallet, which I don't think anybody thinks that would be a terrible idea. They should make some money or something like that with their app, I guess. But
I just have to say, like in this whole thing, like there's so much just stuff happened, people disagreed, that I just wish was just out there. And it is a little funny seeing all the public virtue signaling that has very little like fat on both sides of things. And I'm not criticizing that even. I'm just saying like it is just fun. It is how you have to, because of consequences of whatever you say, you have to like approach it as like a public relations problem rather than just say, hey guys, this is what happened. And so it's just kind of funny to see. Like we are all Zashi making this big rather than just being
right. Everything has to be
everyone
like
quit.
Grandiose, monumental thing. You'd almost prefer like our sort of doctrine at Shielded Labs when it comes to this stuff is we don't get too involved in of any of this stuff. And like I said, like we're just happy that the spotlight is kind of off of us now, and we can go back to building cool stuff and being the like drama-free team that doesn't do a lot of this type of vitriol or this type of back and forth, if you will, on Twitter. You know, and I wonder if almost like a more HR type approach to these public comms would almost be better. I used to really hate that. I used to despise when people would, you know, come out and say, for example, in this case, like, oh, we've had some serious disagreements with the board. We're working things out. You know, this happened, but we'll let you know, and we'll like very opaque communication. I found myself wondering, like, oh, maybe I was wrong. Maybe that type of stuff does have a place and time, but I don't know. Like I said, I want to hear more from really both sides before jumping to anything. Yes. And I'd like to see more people applying more critical thought to their responses to this and stuff, instead of just being like, this has to be good news for Zcash or this has to be bad news for Zcash, one way or the other. They have to decide that right away so they can start posting about it, because they got to get their engagement going and all that stuff. And they have their bags of Zcash or non-Zcash that they need to defend.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So this we're all like actually thing.
Admit that you're playing the game, right? Yeah,
of course. The TLDR type thing says they wanted to clarify the nature. Yeah, navigating, blah blah blah. Then of course they reference OpenAI's thing. It's not a disagreement about this. So that's what they said, right?
Yeah.
And like also very sort of vague, because it does seem to be like it does seem to be an issue with yeah, I don't know. Like they were very, it's both. Well, let me just switch to like whatever Josh said, right? Where let me just hit this thing about says we're all in on Zcash. We need Zcash to scale to billions of users. Startups can scale, but nonprofits can't. That's why I created a new Zcash startup. We're launching a new Zcash wallet, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But it's kind of, you know what's kind of funny is it seems like both sides of this dispute are saying the same thing, kind of. They're both saying, oh yeah, we want to like privatize this thing, turn it and make it go scale massively outside of nonprofit constraints. The nonprofit's saying that, and the people that just quit the nonprofit are saying that. So that's where it gets, it's like something's not being said to the general public. And obviously some people watching or whatever might have more information than here, but I'm just enjoying the public speculation, kind of going through the thought process that people are probably doing as they're reading this, you know?
Oh, internet detective work always yields the best results, right?
Yes. Like, well, the best content, let's just say.
Right. You have a vested interest in making this engaging for your viewers, and I just want to hear a little bit more. I think you're right. And we were talking about how, like, it seems like if everybody's stated claims are true, then shouldn't they be able to figure out a way to get Sashi to be private and make sure that this and that and this investment happens? Like, it seems like there's a way to get for everybody to get what they want. And it's very difficult because, like, a lot of us know a lot of these people.
Yeah.
On both sides. You know what I mean? Like, I'm intimate with the engineering team at formerly ECC. You know, I sent one of them a message. I said, "Congrats on your new role." So, like, you know, and I haven't had a chance to follow up with them, but I'm really curious to see what their perspective is, because they, like me, just like building and, like, you know, being somewhat isolated and autistic and heads down and just doing stuff rather than getting into the fray with these sort of things. But I mean, it really seemed like Josh felt it necessary to say all that stuff publicly, and I want to know.
To say a lot of nothing publicly too. That's the basic thing. Is like we couldn't keep doing our thing, so we went, and it's just, the board's like, just so you know, we were trying to help you do the thing, and then you went. I'm like,
Right. So
okay.
yeah, right. Um,
Now the problem, of course, with launching a new wallet, get early access, the team behind Zashi, all that kind of stuff. It's really like this is the part that like other than it's internet drama, price dump, wait, price bounce back. What aside from all that stuff, it is the sad part is the loss of Zashi because as a Zcash user myself since 2017 or so, something like that. Like, I've been through a lot of wallets, and I was a Zec Wallet Lite user, and I did have a lot of funds. Not a lot. I never had a lot of funds, but I did have funds trapped in Zec Wallet Lite for a while, and I had to like somehow I got it out, and somehow I restored stuff, and I've helped other friends. That whole fiasco was terrible. And then there just were no good wallets, and they were all bricked during the sandblasting attack, and everything sucked, and it was boo boo.
And now Zashi is a good wallet. And
Yes, actually, really. Good
I don't
wallet.
think it's going to go away. This is my prediction. I think
that almost makes it worse.
Well, I think there's going to be two wallets now. I mean, this is the thing. Do we want decentralization or do we not? Do we want multiple nodes and multiple clients and multiple wallets, or do we not? Like, we got to pick your principle here and stick to it, because I mean,
so who's going to run
fragmentation
Zashi?
is good and fragmentation is not. I think Bootstrap will. They still exist and they still have resources. They just need to basically like start from scratch. And I'm not necessarily picking sides here. I'm just saying like that is a distinct possibility that they will sort of start building from the ashes, and now we'll have two different organizations that will clearly not get along, but there may just be wallet, whatever this new plug for cashz.org. They just launched like a waiting list page for their new code named wallet. And also I think they're doing a noble thing right now by still supporting Zcash D and still supporting Zashi on Discord. Josh announced today that they're going to do user support for Zashi, so I think they're still working. And so that's yeah.
So that's good. It's just funny. Like, listen, let me throw the forum post up on the. Oops! Before I go to this one, the forum post where Josh says, "Hi, unfortunately, decisions made by 4 of Bootstrap's board members forced every person at EC to exit the company very quickly." It's kind of dramatic. What you see on social media is speculation, absence of full disclosure. Absolutely, it's not so simple. I wished we hadn't been forced to move so quickly, but we had no choice. This is a serious matter. It is not a game. And as you see, the consequences, severe. More information. For now, we're doing all this stuff. It's like, it definitely builds the intrigue. And because we have it's like, I cannot quite unfathom what would be in the bounds of what, according to public statements, what Bootstrap is trying to do. That seems to be similar to what the Zashi team, the ECC team, were trying to do, kind of. But then there's like a decision that was like, we just have to leave right now. This cannot wait another week, another 2 weeks. You just got to go. And I'm like, I wonder what that was. And so and this is my speculation, because this is all I really have other than publicly available information. I just speculate when it comes out, there will be some disagreement that it was actually that dramatic, that like we needed to act now, otherwise we're toast. Like I would probably, probably speculate that it maybe wasn't. Maybe they could have bided their time or figured something out for another couple weeks, couple months, something like that, and then had a non-rage quitty change. But that's, again, this is pure speculation on this.
That's the problem, is that all of this is pure speculation, and everybody.
That's the beauty of it too, though.
Before we start slinging allegations, I think it's very good to. And I'm not saying you are. I don't hear you slinging just like mud against people and accusing certain people of what I've seen certain people be accused of in this matter. I just before anybody starts singing allegations, ask yourself, what do I actually know for a fact? And you'll find that it is very little, if not
exactly
nothing. Absolutely nothing. And again, it doesn't matter because Zcash is still running and Zcash is still a thing, and nothing has materially changed except for the legal structures of a few handfuls of humans
Mm-hmm.
and how they are organized.
And as I would definitely say, as you mentioned about decentralizing is a good thing, one of those, there's two things. One, decentralization, and two, what I would call sins of the past. And those are big things that affect almost every crypto project. Where, first off, at Zcash's founding, I would probably say the structures and setup were not sufficiently decentralized in the beginning. And I kind of feel like it's been a progressive decentralization over the years where you go from like the Zcash coin, Zcash company or whatever it used to be called, getting like, well, first off, the founder's reward, and then you get to that, and then, okay, now it's split up to the foundation, have some foundation stuff going on here, and then ECC owned by Bootstrap, and then, of course, stuff like the Bootstrap open source license, which of course I disagree with, and thankfully is no longer a thing. Stuff like that, and then over time,
Right.
and then the foundation trademark thing when they sued, where they threatened to sue this digital asset treasury company thingy. Like, there's just like that's
You're being very charitable by calling them a digital asset treasury
yes,
company thingy.
potentially
But
full
yeah.
scam.
Yeah,
Well,
very-
to be fair, in my lexicon, a DAT is not charitable at all. Calling something a DAT, but that's a different story.
Okay, that's a good point. I think their sign up sheet was like a Google form or something like that. Like it was very sketchy. I'm not getting into the fray of whether ZF did what they obviously did what they thought was right. Again, these are people like your friends in the Monero community. These are people I know, and I like would be surprised if they were like doing something outwardly and intentionally malicious. They just might be misguided or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of weird. I mean, look, all these coins have spotty futures. Like,
Yeah.
there's Masternode FUD.
Mm-hmm.
if I
Oh,
may.
believe me, I've heard it all. It's
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't hear it
So
in
they-
the year of our Lord 2026, but there was a lot of
That's
stuff,
good.
and there's a lot of digging. Like, for example, I've been a lot more friendly with the Litecoin community these days, and they're very nice people and stuff. That being said, Charlie Lee probably intentionally put in a mining bug into his coin. And he definitely, when Dash inherited that code and had his thing, he definitely stoked hella FUD. And it wasn't until he got called out for having the same thing that he literally begged for mercy. He was like, I just don't want it. Like, there's a bunch of weird nonsense.
There's two types of clutching that happens in crypto. One is bag clutching, like I mentioned before. Like anything in the narrative needs to be spun one way or the other based on which bag you're holding. And
Zillions
or anti-zillions or Z-trash. It's zillions versus Z-trash, the two tribes. And then there's also pearl clutching, where something happens, everybody just feigns shock and feigns disbelief, and you know what I mean? Either by magnifying something beyond what it warrants in terms of a response, like, oh, I can't believe somebody would, that type of thing. Or they're surprised because it's fucking crypto, and it is 95% like scams and greedy douchebags that want to do stuff. And I'll be the first one to admit it. I work in this industry. I know a lot of those people too. So like, what was it? Somebody at Token 2049 was like, I've never seen so many men trying to cheat on their partners than I have in Singapore. We don't see a lot of that, because I think I'd like to believe that a lot of people in the privacy camp, including the Monero people, are genuinely like mission driven and probably fine people in the real world. I think
today
I'd like to say our little sector is exemplary in that regard. I don't know. Maybe I'm naive.
I think that's more the case in today's world. And I think in the early days, they were the same as everyone else, just a hell of a lot more explicitly criminal. Like, they're the kind of people who'd put a hit out on you, or they're the kinds of people who would intentionally sabotage projects. Whereas in the other, like, BitConnect, people were just trying to steal. Like, they were just trying to steal.
Just
like,
trying to steal your money.
Not trying to
hurt you.
lie,
Yeah.
cheat, destroy, and steal. Like,
I will lie, but only just to steal your. Yeah, right. Not
yeah,
all the
so it
things.
was like we're like as I mentioned, like in the early days, like Dash's founder Evan Duffield had a very like Zuko like vibe, very kind of head in the clouds, like oh, it's just so amazing the tech. Oh, like that kind of just like
Yeah.
a sweet dude, like who could hate this guy kind of thing. But he was like presenting on some 30-person meetup at some Dash thing, and some Monero guy came in handing out pamphlets to everyone about why Dash is a scam and you're going to lose all your
Oh,
like this is in person. Again, it's not that bad anymore, but in the early days were wild. It was like like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's crazy.
And like, yeah, and it's good that even with the infighting in Zcash or the the disagreements or whatever, that everybody still seems to be, yeah, Zcash, yes,
Yeah.
let's get this product adopted, and then we can at least all kind of lean on that, and I hope that we can. That's
Hmm.
an appeal to mercy in terms of like not casting dispersions on each other online from Shielded Mark today, I guess.
Yes. So hitting some of these other things, Sean Bowe had a great post about
That was
stuff,
really interesting. Yeah.
and then this is just a post from Jack Gavigan, who used to head, I guess, the
Uh,
foundation. Well, he just
okay.
clarified a couple things, or from his perspective at least, I should say. I've met him; I don't really know him super well, but anyway, he says two reasons for the donation of ECC to Bootstrap. He says one, a tax break for ECC shareholders. ECC was valued at 20 million, so collectively they got tax breaks for that donation. And two, so that ECC's slice of the dev fund wouldn't be taxed. An afterthought, a third reason. A project like Zcash should never be under control of a for-profit entity because there will always come a day when self-interest, i.e. the greed profit motive, will come into conflict with the underlying mission, for example, the Bozel debacle. And, which I'm sure is a little, he doesn't seem to get along with Zuko very well. That might be a little bit of a jab.
No.
But
Yeah.
so I'll sort of steel man his last point because there's a lot of weird stuff in that, but the stealing point is absolutely agree on the words that he's saying, in that like Blockstream hijacking Bitcoin like screwed up a lot
Yeah.
of stuff like that, and then the L2 swarm hijacking Ethereum to cripple it, so they would be needed, and then the L2s just became their own corporate L1s later.
I don't have a
Obvious,
problem with the third. Yeah.
it's
But,
just
but,
that but it's just that like an entity shouldn't be in charge of the protocol to begin with, right? It should be
yeah, that's
many
exactly
things
it.
going on.
The way he worded that was very good because it says, yeah, the organization that is in control of Zcash.
And that's
And
the big
again,
problem.
there's nobody is in control of Zcash. It's I mean, the people that are in control of it are the people who run the nodes, and whoever's running the software collectively decide what consensus rules are, and etc. The first 2 points, again, I thought this was crypto, folks. I thought we hated taxes. I thought we were all against that, right?
Well,
Like but if you take an uncharitable read of Jack's thing, it just reason number one, greed. Reason number two, greed. Reason number three, I guess. Reason number three, I guess it's a
posturing.
good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
I
the
don't know.
uncharitable take, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have a personal problem with Jack either. But I know that there's a lot of tension, and he is also, like Zuko, kind of ousted. He used to run the Zcash Foundation,
Mm-hmm.
and now Alex Bornstein does, and now Josh obviously formerly ran ECC after Zuko was ousted. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of like.
there's a lot going on. That's the thing about like. Someone came on the Zcash space and was talking to the Zcashers like, oh, don't worry, every project goes through this, it starts out fine, and then once it gets popular it gives all this stuff, and it's like, we've been around for 10 years, and there's always been stuff like this going on since the beginning.
The 2 points I was kind of saying before about the decentralization and sins of the past, like now that there's like it used to be kind of ECC, like in control of Zcash. It used to be kind of one entity doing a lot of what was going on. And I do remember working with some partners, again, this is many years ago, that were like saying like, oh, wow, you guys are actually like decentralized. Like some people we work with are, it's basically like working with a company. It's not, and they kind of strongly hinted that it would be Zcash, but that was like way back in the day. And then now you have a lot of entities. Like first of all, well, as of like a few days ago, you had ECC, you had the foundation, then you had Shielded Labs, then you had Shielded Shanbo or whatever he is, whatever you call him, doing his own thing. And
he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, whatever you call that entity or whatever. It's so the Tachyon project or whatever. And so now you got like, now Bootstrap and ECC were kind of the same. They weren't the same thing, I understand, but they were basically the same thing. Now they're not. Now there's a fifth thing. Now there's, Josh and his band of merry men or whatever you want to call them. So now that it's like Zcash is being run by a bunch of different things all over the place, some with very competing sort of interests. But like the point is, this is good, I think. I kind of think that this trajectory is like way more confidence inducing, because if one of these things goes kaboom, it's just like, and also like, I hate to say, we love to have our fun with Mert, but with people like that involved, if something imploded, like he would be able to do some things to secure his investment and credibility. Like it's not just like, oh, ECC fails, we're all screwed. It's just like, okay, well now there's so many things waiting to come in and save the day if it needs to happen. So decentralization, and then there's the sins of the past kind of thing. People don't like it when I point this out, but like every project sinned in the past at some point. Someone made a practical decision at the time that, and you end up paying for down the road. And like, I kind of feel like, and this is again all intuition, all like speculation, but I kind of feel like the leadership changes of the foundation and of ECC, for example, and then now again, were like necessary. And a lot of times when you see a lot of these like old school characters popping in, talking with who aren't involved anymore, you kind of remember about, oh right, we used to have to deal with your bullshit. Now we don't anymore, and that's like a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, how lucky we are to be living in the present moment and having all these Bayesian priors about everything that happened in the past, right? Yeah. Like if the price had gone from $30 down to $8 after Zashi was launched, we'd all be saying, "Oh, it was such a bad thing that they ousted those people, and we need the old leadership back," and blah blah blah. So it's very convenient to look back on it now. I mean, I happen to agree that Zashi was the like tipping point thing, and that did happen under Josh's leadership.
The
so
zipping point,
if you will. But everybody was doing the best they could with the information they had at the time, just like everybody else in every other decision every other human makes, right? So it's like, I'm sure Dash has some things that like, I can see why they did it then, but it turns out that was a bad idea or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go down like a big long, like there's like a big list of these things. There wasn't a legal structure created called the Dash DAO Irrevocable Trust, which owned all the shares of the Dash core group. Again, that's sounding kind of familiar. And and instead of like the DAO directly voting for things, it was like, well, no, vote in trust protectors for the trust that then interact. They're kind of like the board members in this. And that just ended up like not being sufficient. And eventually the DAO essentially voted, they basically like nuclear option, like rescinded funding from Dash core group until the CEO resigned. He took off, and then they reinstated it, after which they now wound down the trust, so now it's a little bit more direct. And now Dash core group doesn't do business development marketing anymore. I do. It's so that split off, and then like everything started to get out, but like those like old school decisions, and also the guy who got kicked out was spearheading this Dash isn't really a privacy coin kind of narrative to try to get regulators to be nice, and it just didn't work and just screwed it up for everyone. And so like that's sins of the past you're paying for now, and like
exactly. Well, also keep in mind
happens everywhere.
the transition from the Zcash company to the Bootstrap / ECC construction was a result of a reaction to criticism and FUD that was existed at the time against having the Zcash company control Zcash. So like that was a move to try to appease the community, and then 8 years later or whatever, however many years later, now that's the environment has changed. So now the criticisms are different, and then they have to do a different thing. So now we're back to, I guess, just Zashi being a for-profit company. So it's almost like a weird, like, the Zcash company as the sole entity was this block of marble, and we're all just sort of like chipping away at pieces of it, and pieces are falling off and being sculpted into other things. And I think it's good. I just voted on, there's an emergency community poll on the forum right now. Where everybody stop what you're doing and vote about a crypto wallet. But there's an emergency community poll that requesting that Bootstrap turn over Zashi to the team who built it. I voted against it. I said no, recruit a new team, but just because of the interest of decentralization, they say, well, yes vote will, signal consensus that they should transfer the Zashi over to Josh's team and not keep it a Bootstrap, or no, recruit a new team to work on Zashi while Josh et al. Builds a new wallet. And I think, hey, 2 wallets are better than 1. Let's do it. Let's have. You call it fragmentation. We call it decentralization here in the industry. So let's
absolutely both. Because like,
I know.
It is. So here's the thing. Like, Zcash didn't have its own like dedicated wallet up until Zashi. I mean, it was just ECC would take charge of that. Other random people getting grants got it, and then it just didn't work out. So like, we need our own. And so now, it's kind of more of that. There is I kind of feel like, and this is something where almost everything that's not basically like Bitcoin, because no one uses Bitcoin anyway, right? They just gamble on it, has come around to you need to produce at least a core proof of concept app or wallet. Otherwise, if you let people do it for you, you're going to be kind of left behind. And so, good thing like Dash has had one since like 2018, 2017, or before that even, actually. It's got to have been since 2014, because if you look at the Google Play Store link or whatever for the Dash Pay wallet today, the link is like the Hash Engineering Darkcoin wallet. And Dash hasn't been called Darkcoin since 2014. So it has had like a one... It's
like Y wallet.
Yeah, jeez, don't get me started on that thing. But it has been like this one unbroken thing, and then the Zcash world was like, well, let's not have our own, and then finally it's like, hey, we need our own. And so the Zashi era has been great, and then we have like Thorchain decided to not do any front ends. They're just like, we're going to do the protocol. Other people can run the businesses that do this stuff, and then now they launched their own front end now, and it's just like many such cases as far as like. I kind of feel like you need a pilot, like a flagship product, and then other people build other things out of there. And so what I wonder is, what is the flagship wallet going to be for Zcash? Is it going to be the remnants of Zashi, or is it going to be the Cash Z thing, or whatever it's called? What do you think? I mean, if you were to speculate?
If I were to speculate who's going to so-called win the wallet race here, probably the new one. They already have 36,000 signups on cashz.org. But there's a lot of people that are already invested in Zashi too. There's people who have spent a lot of time onboarding people that we know have spent a lot of time onboarding other users to Zashi and getting them to install Zashi on their phone. I got all my family members to install it, and I sent them some Zcash. And I know that you can transfer the seed phrase and you can do all this stuff to go from one wallet to another. But I think, I think Zashi will live one way or the other. And if they transfer it to Josh's team, great. If they don't, great too, because they can keep building on it. So they won't go down without a fight. But I do think the new... Plus, I mean, the new team has the whole promotional like arsenal of promotional weapons, like the Mert. Mert's gonna be all about this new wallet.
Well, that's the
And
funny thing about this.
yeah,
It's just like clearly there's a lot of people that are Team Josh because, and let me just throw a couple of the highlights on the screen because you can tell when who reacts to which news and how quickly sometimes. Maybe that includes usually that means insider knowledge. Doesn't always, but if you look at here, so Tyler Winklevoss, Unstoppable Private Money, he shares the thing. So he's clearly Team Josh, and he's got some sway. Arthur Hayes, LFG, shares it. Balaji,
yeah,
Zcash can scale, Zcash must scale, Zcash will scale. And then, of course, Mert with his classic Mertness. My bald goes out to those who got baited by AI slop while I was sleeping. All that's happened in Zcash has leveled up 100x with a new team structure. No one left. In fact, the team is now bigger. If you don't believe me or don't get it, I will make my time to try and convince you. It's like, okay. Well,
yeah, sure, yeah. That was the other crazy thing is how, like, CoinDesk, like, do they ever get anything right? Or that was the crazy thing about all this stuff. Apologies
God.
to CoinDesk people if you're out there watching this or if you know any of them, but like all these like crypto journalism things.
Better send me a free consensus ticket now, or I'm gonna have to say some things.
What is
Anyway.
this fucking Gamergate? Like crypto journalism crisis? Like literally, they're just publishing fake, not even fake, just like counterfactual information to people. It's like, yeah, they were trying to frame it like the whole core dev team, which there isn't a core dev team, like left the project.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like, and they were gonna, and there was all this stuff about they were gonna start a new token too. That was a whole other thing. They're like, oh yeah, they're gonna leave and start a new coin. And it's like literally nobody said that.
Mm-hmm.
That was not at all what was communicated. Yeah.
Yeah, if I were to guess on that, I would probably say it was not it was not with good information. It was with very little, if any, information. Like, I don't think it was maliciously wrong. I just think they're like, I put something up, it's hot, and then they write something, it's just slop. But I have to admit, and this was a different generation of CoinDesk, but I beefed with them hard in the past because one of their writers got this exclusive on this Dash, like, onboard over 3,000 brick and mortar businesses in Venezuela. And we have like video evidence to prove all of this. And like, again, it happened. It was real. But then like she chose this headline of said, even if it fails, Dash seems to have made some inroads in Venezuela. It's like, why are you coming out with this FUD headline about it's gonna die, but
I guess it's good.
And the entire thing was like there were a few factual errors, but it was the whole thing was written with this like dripping with FUD. I'm just like, what are you doing here? Like couldn't get any corrections. So anyway, this has been unfortunately happened with CoinDesk in the past, and I hope this was just like a rush job that they got things wrong, and not that they're up to their old tricks,
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, I guess journalism could use some decentralization too. I think it seems like we have these editorial boards that need, they control the narrative, and there's because like I know a bit about. I studied journalism in college for a while, and I know a bit about how these organizations work. And like some editor was probably like, "Oh, can you just like make that headline a little more negative on like a little more crypto negative?"
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but it's a good thing. It's like, well, say even if it fails or something like that. Like, yeah. Like why? Yeah, you're just like you putting stuff out into the ether, and then people are gonna pick it up, and it's very irresponsible. And
it was funny.
That's what bothers me about the CoinDesk stuff.
Back in 2016, when Oasis, which was a darknet market, exit scammed, and that was like the number one Monero darknet market at the time, and they were really talking about it, and it exit scammed I wrote a piece for Cointelegraph for it, and it like tanked the Monero price like 15% in like 10 minutes. I just saw the chart when the article hit. That was back when crypto was more wild. And they got flooded with hundreds of comments, emails, things like that, telling them to take the piece down. And so the editor was telling me, like, people really fucking hate you right now, dude. What the hell? But he also says, I've reread this article like 8 times. I can't find a single thing you said that was wrong or unfairly kind of presented. And they're just like, yeah, that's right. Like I know what I'm doing here. But people flipped out. And again, this is not the case apparently with the CoinDesk piece. It's not like, you know, it's
not like the CoinDesk piece.
Yeah.
No, you wrote some. I read your article. I liked it. You wrote something descriptive, and people read it as prescriptive. They read it as
many such cases.
Yeah, you're saying this is how things are, and in fact, it's a great thing, and we should do more of it. And you're like, that's not at all what I said. Even if that's what you hold true, that's not what the article said. So it's like, yeah.
People have. I think that a lot of people are like disingenuous shills, yes, but also I think a lot of people have broken brains where they can't understand. It's just like, hey man, it looks like it's gonna rain. Oh, so what do you have against the sun? You don't like good weather? Yeah, just like, no, I mean, I love sunny. I'm just saying, you see those clouds, it's gonna come rain. Yeah, well, why don't you try? You're hurting the situation, not helping it. Like this, literally today, people are doing this shit. It's insane. Like broken brain syndrome, right? Oh, public schools failing us kids.
Yeah. Or like you log on to X and you just crack your knuckles and you're like, I can't wait to troll some people and roast some, or like, can't wait to argue with some trolls today or whatever. Yeah. So anyway, all right, what's next on the
docket? I think we probably beat it to a dead horse. Although, like, I have to say, like, there is just a lot of just stuff happening, right? I mean, the Zcash world is popping, a lot of good stuff happening. I don't even think bad stuff, just some drama, but it's not even that bad. And it's funny to see, like, to a certain extent, like if you're always in the news if shit's breaking and you're always in the news for that, that's not a good sign. But for the most part, I kind of feel like he who dominates the trending topic subject, segment wins. And so people are talking a lot about Zcash in the last 6 months, right? There's just a lot of conversation around it. There's a lot happening, and that is a objective positive metric as far as like, because so many people are talking about it and so many people are framing privacy in the context of the Zcash thing, and so many people are like, well, how is it going to scale? Or Tankian, we're going to do this. Oh, crosslink, that idea. No, I like crosslink. It's that. And it, like all this stuff going on, there's so much mind share around this. It means people care, and it's going. I don't know what the price is going to do, but you know what I'm saying? As far as it's going higher, like as in, this is going to keep building. Whereas when you have something that nobody's talking about, like, I know, like, okay, I'm getting in trouble with my Monero fans for doing this maybe, but like, people aren't talking about Monero almost at all, except for 51% attack. And then, that was a while ago.
That's a good thing, right? I mean, like in the same thing as delisting is good for Monero. I mean, maybe the fact that people aren't talking about it means that it is indeed the true privacy coin because nobody's talking about it. Therefore,
but I have to say, like, to give credence to some of that maybe spoken ironically, but seriously, I do think they've been on a quiet like climb despite all these things, and I do think the full chain membership proof tech, from what I've heard, does seem to be like a really cool thing. And I did give a little bit of money to the research for that because I like, again, decentralization. Don't have my eggs in the shielded basket. I like, so like there's a lot of good stuff, but that's what I'm saying. I think Monero's doing great, but it's not leading the pack because they're just not. There's some stuff going on there. There's not everything going on like with Zcash.
Actually, I take back my sarcastic little rant there. I think that's good, and I think that's what Shielded Labs is trying to do is just quietly, not draw attention to ourselves and just Yeah, just build stuff. Just build cool stuff for people, and
Yeah.
then we still need people outside of the fringes of society to start adopting crypto, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's still. I saw a stat, and who knows with statistics, but I saw it was like 10% of the world has been onboarded to crypto, and we need.
It's not true, but yeah, I get
Yeah,
that. It's definitely not
that's,
true.
that's way less, right? It's like
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 my friends are mostly like,
not crypto people.
well,
Yeah.
no, my friends are. I have a lot of crypto people as friends, and then all the rest of them are like, not all the rest, but a lot of the rest are like crazy libertarian people who started the crypto movement in New Hampshire before, back in like
Oh, okay.
2011. So like I have a
Yeah.
very biased sample size of people that I know, and I would say 1 out of 20 has crypto that they know how to send anywhere. And
No,
it's
that's
just like,
interesting. Too.
yeah. So like as far as the 10%, I would say it's more like 10% of the world. Nah. Like 10% of the world might have at some point click buy or sell on Coinbase at some point, but doesn't have any or use any. I cannot buy that. And in like
Now,
even in the West, you know?
question for you. As a sort of like fully debanked person,
Mm-hmm.
um, do you find that part of that, like part of fully adopting crypto and not using fiat to the extent that
Mm-hmm.
you do, carries with it a social toll? Like, do
Yes.
you have to form your whole social network around, like literal social network around that, or
Not
you have
necessarily, but
normal friends? Yeah.
I don't think you have to, but there are some limitations. And just the biggest thing is the number one thing is socialization, right? Think about what happens when you hang out with friends. You go out to a restaurant or pub or something. That's what happens. And so the logistics of that can impact.
Mm.
If you have only crypto, but you also have some cash, but no bank account, as long as you're in a place that takes cash like the US, you're fine. No one even knows. If you're in Europe, it gets hard. And then,
Yeah.
okay, well, what happens if you have like a Coinbase card, for example? Then you're normal. Even if you only use it when you go out with friends, then you're normal. But if you're like, oh, I can't go out to that place because they don't have the tap and pay for my weird little Anon watch
Yeah, you're
bullshit,
like a vegan.
yeah, it just
They
becomes
can't eat here.
it
Yeah.
strains, and I have had strained things, and I've had, or just like, hey, can you? I just pay you crypto, and you pay the bill, and yeah, sure. Or but if they're like, huh, like that's when it becomes strained. So like, there
Yeah.
are elements where that does become strained. In my modern, it's become less strained every passing year though. Like now it's pretty much like there. It's like normal-ish, and so. But yeah, there were some times when that had to happen. But I'm saying even amongst people that I know and are like I think that the 10% figure has got to be generous. Like I think you'd have to say 10% have ever had a financial stake in any crypto asset. Maybe that's true, right? As far as you bought something on Coinbase back when it was big, and then you just like sold it, and now you
Yeah.
don't have any. But that's about like, but that's not like I'm a current crypto user. You might not even have any anymore. Definitely not any in self custody, and definitely don't use it. And so you've onboarded them to crypto. It's like, nah. Or like you invest in some like fund that happened to have a little bit of an allocation, and it's like, okay, I own shares of Steak and Shake, and now they have like a Bitcoin treasury going on, and so therefore I'm on board.
Right.
Like, no, you're not. What the hell?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like
Right.
that
Right.
kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. My rewards points from Shake Shack got me some Bitcoin or whatever the hell. Yeah. Um.
Or like I have a Cash App, and therefore they support Bitcoin and Lightning, so I'm onboarded.
So
But right,
I have a half baked sort of financial philosophy thought that I was having. This is totally apropos of nothing. I was
of
thinking
course.
about. I was watching Sailor's video about how
I'm,
his.
I'm really sorry, man.
Yeah. His house in Fort Boca Raton,
Mm-hmm.
shiny sunshine, Florida, wherever the hell his house
Mm-hmm.
is.
Fort Lauderdale, Boca Raton are like close to each other, so you kind of combined them a little bit.
um, and he said, "Oh, I bought it in 1979 for $100,000, and now it's worth 46 million or whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, you could look at it like my real estate went up in value, or you could look at it as the dollar lost 98% of its value against my real estate. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And I was like, the dollar is kind of like a gas token.
Hmm.
And it's I got thinking about like rewards points and like mileage and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's like an incentive to use this gas token. It's a weird like staking thing or something like that. Like there's a lot of parallels between. I just got started thinking about the reward point economy, and I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a whole like thing, because it's almost like you can just generate like, I mean, they're just gift certificates, right? You're just getting gift certificates in like a dynamic variable gift certificate for this one product, which you could look at as an L2 or a token.
Yeah. And also,
And then
you could
the dollar is
view
the thing.
any purchases using credit as like your credit score being rewards points for your
Yes.
for your like credit slave behavior, whatever, right?
Right,
So
right.
like it's like that's how those are the rewards points you get, and like
Credit cuck. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I still partially only get credit card reward points, like how that makes sense. Like I kind of get it, but it's like it to my understanding, they're basically paying you to risk maybe not making a payment on time and having to pay interest.
It's not even paying you. I mean, like, yeah, like, you spend $3,000 on your credit card a month and they give you like $46. And they're like, here you go. Here's your reward for whatever. It's really them communicating, you are nothing to us. You're worth $46 in our eyes to keep you as a happy customer of our credit thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird. It's like free drinks at the casino, kind of. It's just like they're paying you off with some pennies to get you into playing the system, hoping you slip up and then cost yourself a lot of money and give it to them. Like it's just so weird and messed up. But like that's the way the world works.
Yeah.
Speaking of weird and messed up, let's hit these last stretch of a couple things. Now we got rid of most of the drama. Is the Ledger thing first?
Oh my God.
So, community alert. Ledger had another data breach via payment processor Global E, leaking the personal data of customers, name and other contact information. Earlier today, customers received the email below, blah, blah, blah. That was from Zach XBT. And, of course, the top comment that's showing up on my end is Thor Torrens saying, better buy Zach. Okay, well, listen. Sure, but if you bought a Ledger, now people do still know where you live, no matter which crypto token you put in it, right?
Yeah, and also people are like clamoring for Ledger to install shielded Zcash support so that like we can get somebody told me like, and this was kind of a whale, Zcash whale was telling me like, oh, dude, if you got Ledger support for shielded asset or like for shielded Zec, that shielded pool number would go up like another like 30%. I swear to you. And I was like, people are that into Ledger? Like, maybe I've never really used a hardware wallet, to be completely honest with you, because I view my key phrase with the same threat model that I view like my passport or my social security card. You know what I mean? I don't
stuff.
Yeah, keep it away from stuff. Keep it dry. Keep it in a safe or whatever. Like it's, and because all a hardware wallet really is like hardware access to your air gapped access to your seed phrase and your signing keys and things like that. And it's not your funds aren't like in that wallet. The people kind of think because it's like a tangible, tactile, physical thing that like somehow the coins are in here or something. But it's a weird,
Well, the way I view hardware wallets is basically just a 2FA wallet kind of thing, where instead of just, oh, here you go, you send from your phone, it's like, okay, you do this and then you do the other thing, and then that's kind of what it is.
It's the same as a YubiKey. It's just a physical artifact that represents some secret. Like, I guess you would use the same threat model as your keys for your car with your hardware wallet, or maybe something like that. Like you wouldn't carry them around all the time. But I get it. It's just crazy that the hardware wallet manufacturers, they're not very wise to privacy, it turns out. I mean, that's all this means, is that they don't follow the same protocols that like a privacy minded psycho like Zuko, who like only pays for things in Zcash, and he's like a privacy maxi in a lot of ways. Like the hardware wallet companies don't follow this, because Firestone or Keystone, Firestone's the tire company.
All these terms.
I know, I'm getting my proper nouns mixed up today. It's late. Keystone just got called out for using this like really shitty shipping company, which like the last mile company. This, I forget what it's called. I'll look it up next time you're talking. But like they just hey Keystone, you use this last mile delivery company, and they're notorious for being a bunch of scumbags. Maybe you should switch. And Keystone was basically like, we have no intention of moving from them. They're a valued vendor and blah blah. So like they don't give a shit about you at all. Yeah. You gotta look at where the loyalty falls on a lot of these things. Like where does Ledger's loyalty really fall? Where does Keystone?
And I have to say, there is a lot of this where people are good enough. Like, for example, you know how many seed phrases I have in an open, unsaved like notepad on my computer? And it's not, but they're not like, you know why? Because they're testnet coins. Because testnet coins don't really matter. I've been trying out some stuff, and like, oh no, I lost all my testnet coins and shit. Like, I don't care. I'm just gonna like make another one. I don't care. And so crypto is that way to a lot of people. So people want a hardware wallet, and then not enough people know what crypto is or what hardware wallets are to know to like intercept a package and try to steal it and like tamper with it in a way, and like just no one cares. So it's kind of like privacy, right? Bitcoin is pretty damn private because no one really pays attention to it. It's not that the privacy is actually but like no one is looking.
Well,
like if I sent you, if I just sent like a barista, hey, get a Bitcoin wallet, and I just send from my one address to there.
Yeah.
Out of like, if there's just a random person, I would say 1 out of like 1,000 will even Google what a block explorer is, much less go to one.
Right.
Just like, so it's like perfectly private.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But Arkham exists, and there's companies that make millions and millions a year.
Yeah.
Doing exactly what you're describing, and then explaining to, explaining to law enforcement how those things happen. Blah blah. So, yeah,
that makes sense. All right, last couple show things. We wrap this thing up. Just something I wanted to point out because it's fun on my side, and then we'll go to the Galerie. There's this interesting social media app built on the Dash network called Yapper. If you want to go yappr.thepasta.org, whatever, you get to try it on testnet. It's basically an X clone that is all on the Dash Evolution chain with no backend server. It just runs off the network. So you don't have to indexer, you don't have to run a node or anything. You just trustlessly use the network. It's pretty cool. And so I think that of all the decentralized social media experiences, this is the one that I think has the most promise, and there could be some really cool stuff in it. So that's cool, but not nearly as cool as this Fish City Studios here.
Oh, yes.
So Fish City Studios, here's their Instagram page. Art at the edge of everything. John Sarkin's former studio, managed by Mark Robert Henderson. It looked like it said "the" in there. I just had to make sure.
Yeah.
Mark Robert Henderson. And so you have all these fun pictures. I see little Zcash logos in the back of some of these. But do you want to give, I know a little bit more, I guess, but do you want to give the little TLDR on...
So my workspace is effectively a outsider art gallery that was the former studio of this artist, John Sarkin. You should follow us. We're on Twitter too, and on Instagram. And we just try to be an alternative output of different artists. Where I live is a coastal town, and we have a lot of like oil paintings of the beach and driftwood sculptures and fish
Everyone
prints and
does.
things like that. Like yeah, and we're just not that. Like I like that stuff just fine, but we're the alternative to that. We're the outside of that, and we accept Zcash. And you should reach out if you're interested in any of the art that you see on any of our pages, and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, and I did look at a bunch of this art in person. It does look pretty cool. And yeah, it's this gentleman apparently did a lot, like had a insanely prolific output. And for me, like I don't know what it is about me. I'm biased towards that kind of stuff where it's not like, oh man, I painted this one thing that sold for a ton of money. And it's just like, yeah, I'm the one responsible for this thing. And that got me a big break and got me famous. It's like, okay, I get that. But like, I like the whole being about it, it's not the art piece. It's almost like you, the artist, can just do this. And it's just like, sit him down, give him some pencils and some stuff, and he just like puts it out. And it's just like, for me, that's the coolest part, as far as you could just prolifically crank out a bunch of stuff. And it's just like
Yeah.
Beeple with his art stuff, like every day I'm gonna do a thing, and he just does a thing. I'm like, oh, I love the putting in the work thing, the day after day showing up. And
Yes,
because
I
like
think that's an important thing.
if you take a random artist who's like done some successful stuff, and you're just like, all right, you have nothing, come back from it, no one knows who you are. It's like, well, you know who you are, you know what you can do, and you can just start cranking stuff out. Like for me, that's the real talent, is the ability to replicate the talent out of moment's notice, the work.
Yes.
And so you're not I got lucky with this one painting that really went in. People know because I'm Picasso, they're gonna buy one of my paintings. They sell for a lot. It's just like, no, well, also this guy can just crank out cool stuff. And so, yeah, being prolific is really cool. I really liked the prolific and all that art. And I like the gorilla one in particular.
Cool. Well, it's for sale. Let me know. But no, I think that's an important thing. In any creative endeavor, you always kind of start by copying the stuff that you like first. I think that's everybody's, whether they want to or not. And unless you're a true savant or a true like beginner's mind person who's like never seen a drawing before in your life, like a child, you're going to start by copying stuff. Then you're going to start to sort of riff on that and move and start tweaking things. And then I think, like in John's case, if you do something every day for 30 years, you will eventually start to develop a unique voice. It's like if you study philosophy, like you read everything you can and you write essays, and then maybe you can have an original thought, like after 40 years of doing it or something like that. And I think so it goes with every any creative endeavor, whether it's music or art or whatever.
Yeah. And maybe that's just like an allegory. Maybe that's just like a wishful allegory for like this podcast, for example. Like I've been doing some variant of this podcast kind of at least since 2020, if not 2017, like every week. And I mean, I got like a couple views here and there. That's about it. It's not, but it got me a sponsor, and that's cool. And I'm happy with it, but like, it's also kind of what I've done because I guess I don't have like the actual talent to become like oh my gosh, you're like the Bankless folks and everyone watches you. You're super corporate, whatever. Like, that's just what I got, is I can show up every day. And that's also kind of like the whole living on crypto thing is like, I just could, like other people were doing it. Like it wasn't just, I'm this guy who decided to do, like, no, other people were doing it. And I just did it too, and I just kept doing it and kept talking about it, and now people are like, "Oh, I want to."
Yeah, and every day Here, talk for a second or show some stuff on the screen. I gotta hop off camera for a second.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna filibuster for you. So, yeah. Anyway, I would encourage everyone to just show up and like start doing stuff. Like the whole using crypto a day in, day out. That is one of those things that I think is what is missing most from the crypto world, is just people who build on it and use it repeatedly and just get it finely tuned over a long period of time. There's still a lot of stuff that's like beta test looking, like there's a lot of like pre-alpha looking apps that people are just like done and they just release it. And like you were saying about the Keystone or Firestone whatever wallet, and the shipping company and stuff. Like there's a lot of people that do like, or Ledger posting out, again, not to dunk on Ledger constantly, but doing like the, here you're wearing your Ledger as a fashion statement, and just like stuff that just shows that you're not in it for real, and like no one's in it for real. And just like the amount of like, every crypto wallet I've ever used sucks. I mean, Zashi is pretty cool. I would say like Zashi and the DashPay wallet are the two that I think are like fun to use. Like they seem to work decently well, where a normie is not going to run screaming from them. The normie is still, you'll still have to explain some things and be like, oh yeah, well it's got to sync. Wait, there it's synced. Here we go. Like there's still some things to like, some frictions to like talk to them about, but like it's still okay. Whereas these other ones, like again, you mentioned, listen, this is the most shit I'll actually talk on the thing. It just, as we wrap up, is Y Wallet, right? Why? The key part of Y Wallet is why. Like, it's got to be the legendarily worst UX of any crypto wallet I've ever used. It's just like nothing is in the right. And it's worked reasonably well, and I've used it to recover funds that were lost that I couldn't find elsewhere. So I want to be grateful about that. But the UX is just, everything is like wrongly sized, where you have to scroll down and then you have to resize the app to get your list of addresses to pop out in the right way, and then just the buttons of how to send it. Just nothing is in the right place. I'm just like, oh. So that's my little rant on one of those things. So like, I would really love, and okay, too much smack talking, so I'll have to stop after that.
No, it's okay.
But I would love someone to do a side to side Zashi Y wallet kind of thing, just like. And I would love to do this on like boomers and stuff too, like non-crypto people.
Exactly the software design or UX design not done by designers. Like Zashi is a very well thought out user experience, from the fact that they don't make you like worry about your seed phrase right away, to the fact that there's only 4 buttons. And 2 of them are the ones that you use most of the time. They have great QR code support. Like all the things that you kind of want in a crypto wallet are all there. And like people have said, it's a great crypto wallet. It's not even a great Zcash wallet. It's just a good wallet app. And I think a lot of people could learn from all that stuff.
Yeah, and like the reverse sync type stuff is cool too. Yeah. A lot of cool stuff. All right, we're starting to sort of like aimlessly ramble. Let's wrap this thing up.
Let's wrap up.
Follow you on the app known as X at Shielded Mark. And you can follow me, obviously, at the Desert Links. And unfortunately, the X stream cut out like after 20 minutes. I don't know why it's been doing this the last few times. Something to do with Brave RAM or something, maybe. But I'll upload the whole thing to X, and then we'll share it. But yeah, good stuff. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Happy Friday. Remember, taxation is theft. Your phone is spying on you. Fiat is a scam. Live on crypto before it's too late. Narratives pay the bills. Yes. Narratives pay the bills, but they trap you too. Don't believe everything you read online. And I don't know. That's it.
Keep building. Yeah, build cool stuff.
Build cool stuff. Stay drama. Goodbye.
All right.